Hello everybody, it is me Darcy. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Unnamed Podcast. The podcast where I sit here for about a time with this guy.
Yes.
We are here for a good time, not a long time, but also in reality.
A long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Guys, welcome back. As always, why don't we get started with a little bit of channel news.
Okay, fair enough. Well, on Monday was Helldivers, where we first go up against the Illuminates, with having no idea what the hell we were doing.
This is the second part of our first run-in with the Illuminati.
Yeah.
We did have a little bit of a better idea this time. It wasn't the first time. We knew what they had to throw at us. And it was on a slightly easier difficulty, so that always helps.
I forgot we did that.
Well, honestly, the only reason we did it was I was trying to see if we were capable of upping the difficulty, which it appears we aren't. We're not there yet. So
We probably don't play often enough of that.
you know what? It's one of those things where I was like, we don't play often enough to be like Helldivers pros.
Yeah.
But I'm a first-person shooter heavy player. You know,
yeah.
like shooters and paying attention stuff is kind of my jam.
True.
Honestly, I think we could have easily done that. Honestly, I really think we could have done it. I blame you for us not doing it. You were just a major letdown. I think, in all honesty, in the first like 10 minutes, you used up 90% of our lives.
Yeah,
I think I died like
surprised.
once, and you killed me about 4 times.
Did I?
Yes.
Were any of them intentional?
Yes, all of them.
Oh, okay.
So
There you go.
it was like legitimately your fault. So
I'm gonna have to double check that.
yeah, then.
Fair
Pretty
enough.
much all of my deaths that happen, in that starting point up to the point where we have no lives left, are almost directly caused by you.
Oh no, I can understand directly caused by me, but
And-
it's whether I have the intention behind the death.
No, you definitely had the intention. As I said,
Fair enough.
constantly not knowing better,
Fair enough.
just being bad in reality. So yeah, that's coming out. Helldivers. Yeah, honestly, I love that game. I do enjoy playing it. It's one of those ones where it's like, because of what it is, you can just jump in once every couple of weeks,
True, yeah.
play for a bit, and you know, when you're done with it, you're done with it. You don't have to keep going back and being like, oh, hang on, I've got to do the next thing. The way that it's content unlocking works is perfectly set for someone like me who, you know, might one day sit down and play for 6 or 7 hours, but otherwise it's just happy to play for a couple of hours or fortnight.
Yeah.
It's like I can jump in, play some rounds, unlock some stuff. No major issue. Which is what I kind of fell out of love with in video gaming. It's why I left kind of a lot of these games as a service behind, because I was just getting to the point where I was like, I'm not logging in every day to play for 4 hours so that I can get the unlocks that I want. I didn't have the patience for it, and that's why I stopped. I just like I can't do it anymore. I don't want this kind of grind in my life. It's all well and good when I'm having fun, but like, and that's why I really like Helldivers. It is fun to do, and it's only fun. It's not like they're being like, oh, you know, if you don't unlock everything in the next like 2 days, it's all gone. It's been a wasted effort, and it's like, I can just jump in, play when I like, and that's what I love about it. It's good.
It is indeed good. Whereas I don't think I've looked at the stuff to unlock for quite a while. Should probably do that.
Oh, yeah.
Might help.
It's just, you know, like 90% of it is like, oh, it just makes you a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't.
Like for the most part, I sort of get in and we just dive in and done.
Yeah. Like I think the armor parts are just like.
Oh yeah. I stopped looking at the armor parts because they're all the same thing.
Yeah,
for the most part. They
mostly,
might have a minor little difference to it. Like this one's better with like blast damage and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's usually stuff like that, but there's actually some major stuff in there. Like, I think some pieces of my armor that I often switch between are like you carry in more grenades and have less blast damage. So it's like it does pay to look at it, but at the same time, it's just kind of like it's not the world's biggest difference. It's not like, oh yeah, this thing makes everything so much easier. That's like, so yeah, I don't know. For me, it's a pretty good mix between skill and, you know, management and, you know, the small buffs you get from having the weapons. Like,
true.
I've never felt like I've been disadvantaged by not buying any of the premium bundles.
It's true. It's true.
Until I bought my first one, and I bought that with, like, just based off what we found in game. So I've always felt like, yeah, I've never been super disadvantaged to the point where I'm like, I need this pack, otherwise I'm not competing, or I can't play the game anymore. And the way that I've unlocked the packs that I have unlocked, I'm just like, yeah, I'm happy to do that. That's through playing the game.
That's the only way it should be, to be honest.
Look, when it's that kind of stuff, I don't mind them having pay stuff if you want to be a payer.
Yeah,
you know?
I suppose, yeah.
What annoys me is when a game is like... So, I think Helldivers has has to be very, very cautious with how it does all of these extra buy-ins.
Oh, yeah.
Because you already have to pay to play the game.
True.
So it's not even like they're going to say, oh, but we need to do this to make money. No, everyone who's playing this game has already paid you the money. That's not, if you didn't charge enough to repay the game, that's you guys. You chose to make it a $40, $50 game, whatever.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
You could have made it a full price AAA value. People would still buy it. It's still a good game.
Yeah.
But I don't like this whole thing of like, oh yeah, but we got to sell things piecemeal in there to, you know, to make our money back. It's like, no, why?
Yeah.
It's the same issue I had with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the new one, where they were like, yeah. Because of Warzone, everything in there is pay, and it's like, no, I didn't buy Warzone. I bought the full game. I bought your $160 game.
Yep.
I should not have to fork out money to get battle passes and stuff.
No.
Simple as that. If you've only got the free stuff, then yeah, okay, your shop makes sense. But I'm not a free stuff person. I paid you the full price of your game. I bought it all, so I don't want to be treated like a free-to-play player.
Yeah, it's true. Because they're just treating everyone as free-to-play these days.
Yeah, and I'm not interested in it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. So basically, that's kind of my biggest gripe with stuff like that. If I pay for the game, like, so recently I bought something for Space Marine 2, right? Which is a full price game. It's the full, you know, AAA release price.
Yeah.
Technically, I think it's a little bit cheaper, but like it was... Yeah, I never really know because everything's kind of, they say it's like the American prices where they say like it's an $80 game is like what we now pay $110 for.
Yeah.
And so I paid $90 for Space Marine. So I don't know, maybe they'd consider that not a full price game, but
maybe
it was still pretty expensive. And it's like, yeah, I bought the season pass recently, but the season pass for that is literally, here's the stuff we're bringing in. You get it all. It's old school season pass, and I'm fine with that because I know what I'm getting, and I like that. You know, I love that game, and it's like, yeah, I will pay $10 for an chapter pack, pretty much. Yeah. I want Dark Angel stuff, and I bought the season pass.
I mean, it's only like $10.
Well, the season pass was more expensive than that. I think it was like $40 or something. I can't remember, but the season pass is everything. It's like, if I just wanted to buy the Dark Angels pass pack, it's like $10 or $14 is more likely here.
Oh yeah, again, not bad.
But yeah, you know, so if I wanted to buy a piecemeal, I could spend $14, but I just bought the season pass because that's what I wanted, and I was like, yeah, but that's fine because it's the old school season pass.
Yeah,
you buy it, everything gets unlocked. Here is what's coming.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I like that. That's what I want.
You know, it's one of those things that I think we used to say, it's like, this is kind of annoying with the season pass, but I kind of just wanted to go back to that. Ultimately, I wanted to go back to the thing. I bought the game, I play the game, unlock everything while playing. I just want it to be that, but Like,
ideally, that's what we would want. But
yes.
as far as extra content always goes, I was always a fan of the season pass stuff. Because we kind of went season pass, loot boxes, battle pass, and so we kind of went from something that was, if we go from no season passes, so everything that came out with the game, that was best for the consumer.
Oh yeah, 100%.
To an extent, though, I will always say to an extent, because when it was that, it was like, oh, this is a new part of that game, you have to buy it again, and that meant that the cost for some things were like sequel costs when. So, you had to wait for the sequel. It was a lot longer. Whereas, then we went to the season pass, which I always thought was more balanced. Not because, there was always the issue with season passes getting dropped. When it was like, oh yeah, this game isn't successful, we're not continuing the season pass stuff.
Yeah.
And that was always an issue. But in terms of like the season pass, one payment and you get everything, all the DLC that's ever going to come out for this game, that was really good for the consumer, because it was like, okay, yes, I'm paying extra, but everything that ever comes out, I get.
Yeah.
Then we had the loot boxes, and loot boxes were this where I started going, no, this doesn't make sense.
Oh, no.
This is bad.
It was horrible.
Because loot boxes were like, oh yeah, you can get this in your loot boxes, and 90% of the time you were just getting tat.
Oh yeah,
rubbish,
100%.
Absolute rubbish. I always found the problem with loot boxes were, even though they were generally unlocked with gameplay, then you had the ones that were like, oh, you won this loot box through gameplay, now you got to buy a key to unlock it. They were even worse, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But then it was like, okay, so I got this from doing it, I open it, and oh, I get a bunch of tat. Nothing. I get fuck all.
Or
it's like
the same thing you got in the last 4 loot boxes.
Exactly. So
it's how I managed to annoy someone in the first Overwatch when they were doing loot boxes.
Exactly. And so loot boxes were always bad, by my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Then we went to the battle pass, which was the loot box, but slightly better, because you knew what you were getting.
True.
You did technically unlock it during gameplay, but it became the worst situation, because I don't know if a lot of people remember.
Wanted
Battle passes always used to be free. Like when they first started, they were free.
There's a bunch that still are, but it's a thing of like, it's free. Having said that, if you want this really good stuff, you've got to pay us.
Yeah. Well, see, to me that's just not a free battle pass.
No.
If you have a battle pass and it's like, oh, if you want to unlock everything on it, you've got to pay us money. It's not a free battle pass. You can claim whatever it is. It's not free. It is a paid battle pass.
Yeah. It is.
So the paid battle pass is not as bad as the loot boxes, but it's not as good as the season pass. It is constantly paying for tat.
Yes.
Because every season pass is like, every battle pass, every season of the battle passes, if you will, is like, oh, it's new stuff, and it's like, we've got 100 things. Why do we have 100? I don't know, because half of the shit that's in there is tat you don't want.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you got a spray. Oh, you got this. Oh, you got that. Oh, you got think about the Call of Duty one.
Some people
you got a watch. Who gives a fuck about that? Oh, you got this charm for your gun. Who gives a fuck about that?
Nah.
The only thing I want are the weapons, the weapon skins, and the character skins.
Yeah.
I want the value stuff in there. And it's like, oh, but we have 100, and it's like, I don't give a fuck about all of this.
Yeah.
Oh, look, here's a fucking piece for your tag ID thing. Cool, I don't actually ever change that.
No.
So it's like,
It's really annoying, because like even the last battle pass that I looked at was like 2 things out of the 100. That's all I wanted out of the 100. I'm like, you know what? I'm not paying for this.
Exactly.
Because they're not worth the cost of the battle pass.
Yep, and it's tat that you're paying for the chance to unlock a bunch of crap with a few good things in there.
But then
you have to work for it. And it's like, my thing with a paid battle pass is everything in there, once you pay, and this is something that I'm like, battle passes, there should be a reckoning soon in the gaming industry where everyone who's ever paid for a battle pass gets their money back. Because a battle pass should only work one way. You pay for it, that stuff is yours.
You
paid
can go down the track of, like, you've got to unlock it. Fair enough. But don't get rid of it.
Yeah. The second they start getting rid of it, we're no better than the loot boxes. We are no better than loot boxes. Because, like, oh, yeah, but you're paying for the opportunity. No. The second, I pay for goods and services, not the opportunity to have goods and services.
Yeah.
So I think we're in a real situation where the battle pass needs to have a good look at, because people are currently paying for stuff, and I know a few places are starting to fix this up and be like, infinite battle passes, as long as you keep playing, you can keep unlocking. But these ones, especially the Call of Duty ones, need to have a real good look at by someone who's regulating this stuff, because people are paying for stuff and not getting it.
And then they miss it by a day.
I'm not even missing it by day. The second that, as I said,
that was just a thing of, like, there's some people out there, they work for the whole season trying to get it, but unfortunately they get into, let's put it this way, they get into a lot of lobbies with sweats.
Yeah, but the other thing is this. Battle passes. So I told you I've been playing Delta Force. Delta Force has a battle pass in it.
Yes.
I don't pay for it because I don't see any point in it. But, like, you watched me play a game. In that game, I got 1 kill and was only playing for about 5-10 minutes because I jumped in late. I got 2 levels off the battle pass off that game.
Yeah.
Because of the things I was doing. Because I was throwing down healing items and reviving soldiers. I played terribly. But I got 2 levels off the battle pass because it's like, oh, you scored these points and these points, and this is how they translate to the battle pass.
Yep.
I have played games of Call of Duty where I've racked up 25 kills. That's half the kills for my team. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, how'd I do on the battle pass? You know, double kills, triple kills. How'd I do on the battle pass? Oh, I got like 10% of 1 level. And it's like, how the fuck does this translate? How the fuck does my gameplay translate? Is it just timing game? And that's what I came to the realization was.
With Call of Duty's Battle Pass, they wanted you to play Warzone.
Exactly.
Warzone or DMZ. And they were 2 options.
No, but that's where I came to the realization. Their Battle Pass was almost purely based on timing game.
Yes.
Because in a multiplayer game, you were in there for a max of about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
In a DMZ game or a Warzone game, you could be in there for a max of about an hour.
Yeah, well, the thing about DMZ was, it was well known that with DMZ, if you went in, it was player kills over a period of time, so Warzone or DMZ, which ruined the experience for people who were playing DMZ. Because you get all the people that, oh, I don't want to play Warzone, because then there's a bunch of people doing the same thing. Whereas if I go to DMZ, I can get this easy kill over there, because they're not trying to kill me. Well, they're just trying to get their missions done, but I could snipe them down.
That's what I always had the issue with DMZ was.
That's what I hate.
I could almost guarantee if I went into DMZ, I would get a level of the Warzone, of the Battle Pass.
Yep.
But playing about 4 games of multiplayer, which is what I actually enjoyed playing, I couldn't guarantee that I was going to level up. And I was like, and that's why I hated it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, as I said, I think there needs to be a real reckoning with these battle passes because at the moment, I do not see how you paying for something and then being what... I do not see how it is possible without breaking the rules of gambling, which is why loot boxes had to go. They were considered gambling.
Yeah.
But I don't see how the battle pass is different. You know what you're getting, but you're paying for the chance to unlock it. Because you might not get that. You might not get it. And the only way to get it is to pay even more money.
Yeah, it's practically the same thing.
So it's no different. It's just...
there's a minor difference.
It's still chance-based. It is still incredibly chance-based. And because they're not very transparent with how you get the points, you know, if you come out of a game and you can see your point tally and then that doesn't translate directly into the battle pass, that's not transparent. Meaning that you can't see the back room spinning cogs of the gambling machine that are doing the thing. So I think battle passes need to have
they need an overhaul.
They need a reckoning. And I think we need to go back to, you know, honestly, I think we need to go back to the old days of DLC where it's pay for what you want and you get it. You give us money for what you want and you receive that. Yeah. Because the new ways are absolutely atrocious.
Oh, yeah, it's horrible.
And yeah, I don't have the numbers off my head, but I would be interested to see what some of these high-end battle passes, so the ones you're paying like $24 for.
Yeah.
And then how much it would actually cost you once you've paid for it to unlock everything.
Yeah.
And I know that people will say things like, "Oh no, but you get it by playing the game." No, I want to see how much they think a battle pass is worth.
Yeah.
Because I know in Call of Duty it used to be 150 Call of Duty coins.
Yeah.
Per level, and I remember 1,000 pack was something like $14.
Yeah.
So that means what, 10 of them are $1.40.
Yeah.
So 150 of them is $1.40 times 15.
Yeah.
And so that's how much a spray they think that a spray is worth.
Yeah.
A spray that took them probably 30 seconds to make.
Oh, yeah. It's...
Or, in what they're doing now, using AI. So, you know,
True.
It would be, you know, it'd be very, very interesting to see what they actually think some of these things are worth. Because I can guarantee you, they're not.
No, 100%. No.
Anyway, that's a little rant on fucking battle passes.
Yeah.
I truly hate battle passes. Bring back, as I always say, bring back the days where, with the season pass, where all of the DLC was in a season pass, and if you didn't want to buy the season pass, you could just buy the individual bits of DLC, and you knew what you were buying.
You had the choice on what you wanted.
But more importantly, you knew what you were buying. You were giving them money for that piece, and you were receiving it. There was none of this. Okay, well now you have the option to receive it.
Yeah.
Absolute rubbish.
Yes. Well, and then, because we're still on channel news, Spyro is what came out on Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely. Spyro dropped on Wednesday. Continuation of the game, finishing off the second level. So I'm 100% sure now that the third game has 4 hub worlds. Yes. I've managed to generally knock out a hub world in about 2 videos, but the videos are getting longer. Like they're now at that like hour to hour and a 15-minute kind of range.
Yeah.
But yeah, in all honesty, I'm just like, it's just getting through it, you know.
Yeah.
I think some of the things that I found that really add to the time are all of this really, really, really stupid mini games that absolutely suck.
Okay.
I don't think I've managed to go through one game without them, but like the skateboarding one. Oh, I hate that. The hunter missions in the speedways absolutely suck. Like I was doing one in the latest video where it's like it's an on-rail shooter.
Oh yeah.
But you'd like there were points where like you see me point my target, pull the trigger, switch target, shoot, then I go back to that and it's like that target's still up. And like if you actually watch it, it's like you see the shot make contact with them. It's like why didn't that fucking
Yeah.
And I'm like, bah. But you know, they're as the games got bigger, like the actual platforming mission stuff has always been really fun for me.
Oh yeah.
But just all of those like extra little mini games, and as I said, the skateboarding is definitely one of the worst because they just added skate parks and they're like, oh, we'll put gyms around these skate parks. Oh, why would you do that?
Yeah.
So now you got to spend time trying to get around it, and there's like specific rules for how you can get up things. Like if there's a thing on top of a ramp, you've got to use a skateboard to get up there, but then you've either got to deal with the shitty controls of the skateboard or somehow crash the skateboard so that you can actually walk around up there. There's no way to just hop off it, which is stupid.
Yeah.
And then just the hunter missions. I really... This game also brought in the players' other characters' missions, which sometimes are good and sometimes are bad.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah. Not really much to say about it. It's just some of them work a lot better than others, and you know that's kind of the thing of it all. If I'm not mistaken, the last character you unlock, who I believe is like Agent 9 or Agent something like that. I'm pretty sure it's Agent 9, but
sounds right.
Like all of his missions are on-rail shooters, but they're like kind of the worst on-rail shooters you could ever imagine, because they're the type where it's like, oh, you missed one thing, start again. You know, that those suck. Like on-rail shooters where it's like, oh, you didn't score all of the points because you missed a target. You're like, oh, damn, I'll go back and try and get a perfect score. You know, I don't really have an issue with them, because it's like, if you want that perfect score, go for it.
Yeah.
But the ones where it's like, you've got to hit everything, it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, I finished off the second world, so I'm up to facing the second boss. And then we will move on to the third world. Have to double back the last bit to finish off in the world that it has the next character that you have to go forward to unlock to come back to finish it off. That's probably the other big thing that annoyed me about this game. I get kind of the reason they did it to kind of like be like, oh yeah, there's another character to unlock, but at the same time it was a pain in the ass. Because you can't just finish and go. You've got to go forward, do a boss fight, find a character, and then and then, you know, actually do their mission before you can go and come back to this world. I really would have preferred it if they had never done that.
I suppose
it just would have been a lot better if the characters only went forwards, not backwards, because then you could finish each thing in time and not have to constantly travel backwards and forwards.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rough one.
It's just unnecessary. I think that's kind of the big thing. It's unnecessary, and I feel like nothing kind of brings you down when you're like just like powering through something, then hitting a point where it's like, oh, I literally cannot do this.
Yeah.
It's not that it's just rough to do or it's going to require skill. It's, no, I have to move forward to come back to this, to do this. But to even get to that point, I already had to complete this world.
And the fun part's, if you're playing once a week or like once a fortnight sort of thing, it's remembering where you've got to go when you get back. So was it that one? Was it that one? It was one of these.
It's not that. I don't have too much issue with that. As I said, my biggest issue is that you've got to finish these worlds to move on to the next world.
Yeah.
And then so you've got to go to them. You can't just be like, well, I know that one has this mission in it, so I'll save that and go to the next world. No, you've got to come through. So you don't even have the opportunity to do it in one go. And that annoys the fuck out of me. Because I'm someone who likes to get in, finish everything in a mission, then leave.
Yeah.
And once that's done, it's like, okay, I don't care anymore. I've finished that. It's checked off. So having to go back and be like, let's do it again, it annoys the fuck out of me.
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
Yeah. But yeah, so we are, one more boss fight. Well, that'll be the first thing. There'll also be probably a lot of cutscenes in the next.
Oh yeah, there would be too.
In the next one, because I forgot how long the cutscenes are in Spyro 3. Like some of them go for like a good. I almost feel like one of the episodes I did, which was like, it was probably the shortest episode I did, because I forgot that there was I stopped recording at like an hour and a half, and I forgot there was like a whole point where I like had to go and do something for like half an hour in there. Yeah. So by the time I'd cut everything out, it was like down around the like 45-minute mark.
Yeah.
But in that, it really did feel like a good third of that, about 15 minutes, was just a cutscene.
Yeah, probably be about right.
So, there's that.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, I still love the Spyro games. It's just when you go back and you're playing them, and you're doing it the way that I'm doing it right now. Like when I went back when they first came out and I just played it, because I was probably playing 4 to 7 hours of that game. It was like, it's not even an issue. Back forward. It was tedious, and it's like, why something that you're like, this should only take me about 3 hours was in fact taking you something like 6 hours. But now that I'm doing it the way that I'm doing, I'm just like, this is annoying. Why have this block here? Why have this bit where it's like, this is a stopping point. You cannot do this. We're stopping you just because we can.
Yeah, there's unfortunately a lot of games that do it.
Look, I get it with some games, like, I truly get it with games where it's like, the point is exploration, you go backwards, you go forwards, you find new stuff to go backwards and forwards. But Spyro is a platformer.
Yeah.
It's about platforming, it's about,
really
you know... Yeah.
Which makes sense. But yes.
Yeah. But so yeah, we're almost halfway through the game.
Yeah.
Although I say that, if I actually look at the stats, it's probably close to about 45% through the game, because then I also have to go back and do all the Sparks missions.
Yes.
Which I haven't unlocked yet, which means that I've got to go back and...
Yeah, I forgot about those.
Yeah, as I said, they did throw a lot at Spyro 3.
Yeah.
Not all of it was gold. And that's why I really want a Spyro 4, because I can guarantee in a Spyro 4 we are not going to have skateboarding. Thank God.
No, it won't. We are past that era.
Yes. Like, I think we would have pretty much a Spyro 1S game with all of the best elements from Spyro 2 and Spyro 3. So that's like better controls, being able to swim in water.
Yeah.
An actual diverse story. Spyro 1 story is like super easy, and like the only other characters other than Spyro that make any real impact is the balloonist and Nasty Nork.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, everyone else is like, boom, 1 second, give you a hint that's either irrelevant or so goddamn obvious it's not funny.
Yeah,
like,
true.
One of the funniest things I always found with the first Spyro was you would go and do a mission, and depending on the order you did them, you would get the same hint multiple times. Like, this is how you glide. And it's like, cool, but I already know how to do that. And the ones that always pissed me off were the ones that were like, this is how you do that. And you're like, I had to do that to get to you. I literally had to, like, I believe one of them was like in one of, like, the third world or something you go to is like, collect the gems. What the fuck do you think I've been doing? Well, you think I've just been like...
I started collecting gems the moment I turned the game on.
Exactly. And so I was like, I always hated that. And it's the same with Spyro 3 and Spyro 2.
Of course.
I get it in Spyro 2. The learning how to climb ladders. It was a big deal. It was a new thing.
True.
Spyro 3, I get it. There might be people who haven't played Spyro 2. But in Spyro 3, because you do not have to learn how to climb ladders, the second you see a wall that kind of looks like a ladder, you're going to jump at it. That's all you got to do to climb ladders. So I don't need a spiel in the second hub world about how to climb ladders. You know, so it's like...
Because I believe that came out of the point where if you saw a ladder in any game, it was just run at it or jump at it. They were the ways for the most part.
But anyway, like, but yeah, the point is, like, when the stuff happens.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, learning how to glide is something that they need in Spyro games. Because if you never played the game before, you're not going to get it.
True.
I guarantee you, before you found that tutorial, you would have figured out how to glide because of just playing around with the input.
Well, I don't know about you, but when I was younger playing games, the first thing I did was play around with inputs. So I could quickly figure out how to play the game, so I didn't have to try to figure out later on when you get to a point of like, oh, you need to do this. It's like, shit, how do I do that?
But I will always say this about the Spyro games. After this first one, the second one has some of the worst tutorializing in it. The third one is worse even still, but it's a lot of the placement of tutorials, where it's like they're too late to actually be useful.
True.
Because you've already been doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Or the person who's telling you has no right to be telling you that information.
Yeah.
I get Spyro 3 is you and Hunter.
Yeah.
But Hunter teaching you how to glide, being like, hey, you got to glide over there, and then just jumping over there. It's something that I've always been like, this is stupid, because it really is. And it's like, like, it was literally like in the second game, where if you've watched it, whenever I'm doing a speedway challenge and it's Hunter being like, here, get in my plane and we'll I'll fly you around and you can shoot the things. I'm like, dude, I'm a dragon. I've been flying around here. I have my own wings. I don't need your remote control plane.
Yes.
And so it's like, yeah. Or things being like, Hunter's the fastest person we've ever had, and then he's like got a pair of flapping wings on. I'm like, dude, I'm a literal dragon. You're wearing you've got like an Icarus suit attached to you, which you're flapping with. I am literally a dragon.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So there was always that issue for me with the whole Hunter teaching you stuff and stuff. I'm like, dude is one, useless, and two, I am a dragon.
It's very true. It's always the weirdest thing.
Why is a cat teaching me how to glide? Like, in all honesty, it would, like, they've got, in the third one, the actual main characters, or the helper characters that you run into at the start, are Zoe and Hunter. If you're going to learn flying, it would be better from Zoe. I get it that she's really only the save thing and tells you all the save information.
True.
But she at least has wings. Hunter does not. So any wing-related stuff should be coming from the magic fairy.
Yes.
Any fire-related stuff, the magic fairy. Hunter should be doing what he does in reality and teaching you nothing because he's useless.
I didn't teach you how to dash.
No, he's useless.
It's about the only thing that
the only thing that Hunter should be doing is saying, hey, Spyro, can you help me because I'm fucking useless? And that's all he is in all the games he's in. Useless.
No, he is.
He's escort missions. He's...
Actually, you know what would be better than having Hunter stand there telling you to glide over there and how to glide? A sign. A literal sign that says, this is how you glide. Done.
But it's like one of the big things I've had issues with the Spyro that I'm currently playing. It's like the whole reason that Hunter and Spyro went to where they are was to chase after the eggs. And then you'll be like talking to Hunter and he'll be like, oh yeah, beat the high score on the skate park and I'll give you this egg. And it's like, dude, that's the whole reason. If you've got the egg, just fucking give it to me.
That's the whole reason we are here. You are here for that reason.
And you know, it's the old school Ludo narrative dissonance, where it's like the narrative says we're doing this, but the gameplay, we need you to do this to achieve that. And it's like, but if Hunter has the egg,
it shouldn't be Hunter that's standing there. It should be another character.
Exactly. It should be someone who's like actually going, not like
an actual enemy.
Yeah. Or Hunter being like, hey, this guy's got the egg. If you beat the high score, he said he'd give it to us. Not, hey, I found this egg earlier, and if you beat the high score, I'll give it to you. Hunter, the whole reason we're here is to get the egg. If you have it, hand it over.
See, at that point, it's we go back to the situation of you're playing a literal dragon. That wouldn't be hard to just eat the cheetah. It wouldn't be difficult. Guess what you would have then? The egg.
Exactly. So yeah, that's kind of my issue with Spyro 3. Like, just, and you know, it's a kid's game. I get it. Yeah. So, and a kid doesn't like think like that. But you know, I kind of get to the point where I'm like, Spyro Reignited Trilogy wasn't made for kids. It wasn't. It was made for the people who had grown up with Spyro.
Yeah. 100%.
Like, yes, kids may have played it, but it was,
for the most part, it was the nostalgia for all of us.
Yeah, it was. We
were getting.
It was here's Spyro back, and everyone was like, "Woo!" And people who play Spyro, just like how they advertised it with Snoop Dogg, because Snoop Dogg wasn't for the kids either. No. It was for people who were like, "Oh, Snoop, love Snoop." So, I feel like they could have fixed a few things and been like, you know, this is just. Let's change a few words that people never really notice just to make the story make more sense. Because, again, as I said, it makes no sense in the third game for Hunter to be like, I have this egg and I'll give it to you if you complete this thing for me. It's like, Hunter? No, Hunter.
We've done 2 full games of this.
Hunter?
Give me the fucking egg.
Well, you know, it's kind of like my issue with the second game where it's like you were collecting the orbs. And they were like, oh yeah, here's this thing I found. Thanks for doing a job for me. I just found this in the ground. And it's like, okay, so I just helped you out massively. Now, I know I want that orb, but to you it's literal rubbish, and you're giving it to me as a reward. It's like, the issue is, again, yes, that is the thing that I want, and I know it's valuable. But when the person who's handing it to you is like, yeah, I found this, like,
weird thing in the ground. Do you want it?
Yeah, I did. This was literally in my rubbish bin. Here you go. You can have it. And it's like, yeah, that's exactly what I want. But I'm like, but to you, who's trying to reward me, you are just like, hey, here's some rubbish. It would be like Kris coming and helping me move, and me being like, here, Kris, here's a used chip bag from my rubbish bin. And Kris being like, oh, that's not what I wanted at all.
You dick!
You know?
Good luck getting help moving again.
Exactly. It's like, I get it. That is the thing I want. But when that person doesn't know that I want that, like, you could fix all that by being like, hey, I hear you're chasing these orb things. There you go.
Detroit.
But instead they're like, hey, yeah, this was just like...
I found it on the ground while we were running past it.
Yeah, or, oh, yeah, this was buried with all of my potatoes.
Wait,
I don't want it.
It's a thing of like, hey, we were running... I found this on the ground while we were running past. Goat with glasses. Dragon. How did Spyro not see it?
But, you know, like, but other things like, oh, we found this mixed up with all the baseballs. You can have it if you want. And it's like, huh? You're rewarding me. You wouldn't be like, oh, yeah, I guess you can have this thing if you want. Like, the ones that are like, oh, I found this shiny thing. You can have it if you want. I'm like, okay, that at least makes some kind of sense. Yeah. If you're using the logic that dragons like shiny things. They're hoarders. They collect shiny things.
True.
But the ones who are like, yeah, no, like, this was just mixed up with all the baseballs. You can have it, because I don't want it. It's like, okay, so you're literally being like, hey, thanks for doing this job for me. I literally don't want this thing. I think it has no value, so you can have it if you want. Like, again, the ones that are like, I was going to keep this, but because you helped me, you can have it instead. I'm like, okay, at least they think it has value. Yeah. But the ones who are just like, this thing is valueless to me, have it as a reward. It's like, yeah. The fuck are you playing at?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes, I want that, but still, to you, it has no value. You're rewarding me with nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Spyro.
Yeah.
Fix your narrative in Spyro 4. Have a good narrative. Have people reward you with things that is actually rewarding. Bring it back. I really do want Spyro 4.
Yeah, same here.
And I want it to be more...
To be honest, a lot of people, when the Reignited trilogy came out, thought it was going to be that situation. Hey, we're just seeing if this is going to sell to make a new game, like they did with
Crash Bandicoot.
Well, yes, Crash Bandicoot and Dark Souls 3. They re-released Dark Souls 2 to see if it would sell. It sold enough, made 3.
There you go.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. And then on Saturday, we obviously have a Minecraft coming out where me and Kris do some exploring in hell.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
We've had to get there, so yeah. We finally went there, did some exploring. Did not find really what I was looking for, but we did find some pretty cool stuff. But obviously that's going to be 2 parts, so stay tuned for both of them to see us explore the new hellscape.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, considering we know what we're actually looking for in there, the new Nether sucks for it.
Oh yeah.
Because they're like, oh, but we've got all these biomes in there. It's like, yeah, but where's the actual thing that I want? Because we have not found that yet.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
You know.
And I did quite a bit of digging to not find it. Yeah. Well, that's about it for that one.
I think, I don't think there's a whole lot to say about it. You know, it's a Minecraft.
I don't want to give anything away. Yeah. I get lost.
Yeah. You know, it's one of these things where it's like, in the Minecraft, it's kind of hard to even tell you guys what's happening, because with a lot of the other things, it's like, we played this game, we did this part of the game. You know what happens. Minecraft is like, we went to a sandbox, we went looking for stuff. Stuff happened in this sandbox that we were in. But yeah, some stuff happens. So stay tuned for that. Like, check it out. It should be good. I honestly don't know at this point, because it hasn't been edited. I haven't even looked at it yet. What happens in what parts, but should be good. I'm thinking it should be good, because I know some pretty stupid stuff happened in it.
Some of it was from me.
No, all of it was from me.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I'm just trying to think what else. We were definitely in the Nether. We definitely did some stuff in the Nether. I think I stayed in the Nether most of that whole filming session.
I think for me, at the end is the only part I wasn't really fully in the Nether. And I sort of just started.
Well, there was that whole chunk where you weren't in the Nether because
I got lost.
He says he got lost, but there's no excuse for him getting lost because he was at a point with Bean 2, and that is really easy to get.
No. Just wait till you edit it and see which side I came from.
I don't care.
It makes it worse. I got lost.
Doesn't matter.
It's like,
oh, there's a really easy way home from here. I'm not going to follow that. And then
obviously I made one bad turn. That's all that happened.
Just stupid.
Oh, it was. Believe me.
But yeah, so that'll be coming out. It's probably Saturday. At the moment I'm thinking Minecraft Saturdays work best for me. Yeah. So we're gonna see how that goes and probably continue that trend for at least the foreseeable future, just because it makes a little bit more sense for releasing 4 videos to come out in 4 days. Yeah. And it just gives it quite literally gives me an extra day to edit it, which is always nice.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Other than that, we're up to 218.
218. Yeah.
218. Yeah.
That's what it was last time I checked. So yeah, we kind of there was a little bit of a weird period there where we went up, then we went down, then we went up, then we went down, and in the whole time that was happening, our side of the analytics was saying nothing had changed, and I was like, that doesn't make sense because I looked at the channel yesterday, and you were saying, oh, you're up to this number. And then I looked today, and we were down 2 or 3 subscribers, and you're like, nothing's changed. And it's like, well, hang on. And then I would reload, and it would give me a completely different number. But the 218 seems to be legit.
It seems to be.
Yeah.
We'll find out next week.
I honestly have no idea. But yeah, as I said, I kind of got hit by this weird side thing where I was like, this is happening and that's happening and this is and that, and I was like, but all the time my analytics were like, everything's exactly the same.
Everything's a-okay.
It's like, wait, so we lost some subscribers? No, you didn't. Okay, but we gained subscribers? No, you didn't. Okay, what the fuck is actually going on? But yeah, this 218 seems to be a legit 218.
Yeah.
There seems to be no wacky wizardry going on from YouTube's side. So 218, we're almost at 220, and honestly, we're halfway through the first month of 2025, and we hit 200 kind of December wise, and honestly, December we didn't really move too much around. It wasn't that surprising. I was doing a lot of solo stuff in December. We do know that videos where it's the both of us tend to do a little bit better.
Yeah.
Except the Minecraft ones. The Minecraft are always hit and miss. I'll put out a video just by myself on Minecraft. It'll be 200 views. Then we'll put out one with the both of us in it, and it's
7.
No one liked this. It's okay, everyone hates Kris. I get it.
There's a show about it.
But yeah, so pretty much, we'll continue with that, and fingers crossed. We're hoping to be, 220 by this time next week, and keep that growth going. Be really awesome if we could have 500 and get to that 500, because that's one of the first check marks, whatever, on the YouTube journey, and it'd be really cool if we could make it there, by the halfway point of this year. But we'll keep our fingers crossed and just keep putting out content and hoping you guys enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that we keep getting subscribers. But I think that just about wraps up channel news.
I think so.
Did take a while this time because of that whole battle pass thing. But I always feel like that's kind of why I like the channel news, because it brings in the stuff that I'm not thinking about talking about.
Yeah, true.
But it's just related to the games in general. And then we can use the second part of channel news to talk nothing about video games, or everything about video games.
Pretty much.
Or just spend an hour ranting about Star Wars.
The second part of channel news.
Podcast.
There we go. The correct phrase or term.
Anyway, so pretty much what's been happening this week, guys, is one, I've been doing a lot of Lego build. I've been making a Lego race car. It's quite large. You can kind of see it sitting up above Chris's head to the side there. It's taking up that shelf.
Oh yeah.
It's about 3/4 of the way built. It cannot stay on that shelf because it's
won't fit.
about
It's
3/4
not
of
gonna
the way built, and it's not going to fit. So I have no idea where I'm going to put it. Oh, you know what? I'm going to grab it down and show you. It is the 2022 McLaren Formula One race car. It is larger than I thought it would be. It's one of those fish, you know. It's about this big.
Yes.
But I have no idea where I'm going to place it.
It's a good point.
Once it is finished. For now, it's sitting on that shelf. What? It can't stay there.
Yeah.
It could go on the shelf above, but it overhangs that shelf and it hasn't got its wheels on yet. And its wheels.
Oh yeah.
Its wheels are that thick. That's a thick, beefy wheel.
Yeah, true.
So I've got some figuring out to do.
Yes.
It might actually be as wide as my skateboard.
Yeah, no, it could be.
But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been doing this week. You know, otherwise I've been watching movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
I started watching a new one called Justified. When I say new, it's new to me, not... I think it was made in like 2015 or whatever, so it's almost 10 years old at this point. But that's it's a pretty funny TV show. I don't know if it's supposed to be funny as often as it is, but it is funny quite a lot of the time. Just about a guy who shoots a lot of people.
Oh. Is it justified by any chance?
It is justified.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It is justified. I've also gone back because I jumped onto my sister's Disney Plus account and I'm like, what do I want to watch on Disney Plus? Star Wars? Absolutely not. I'm actually thinking about watching Andor though, because I hear Andor was very good.
I have heard so.
I will not watch any of The Mandalorian because I heard The Mandalorian started good and went bad. But so the fact that it started good and went bad means that I'm really not interested in watching it. And everyone that I've met that said it started good, I question their Star Wars taste.
See, my thing is I say it started all right. I don't say it was the best thing. I still got distracted while watching it many times.
Well, see, my issue is for a lot of people, they're like, "Oh, it's so good, Star Wars," and it's like, okay, but they were kind of comparing it to like the other Star Wars stuff that was coming out at the time, and I was like, that's like saying this is the best part of this pile of shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I was like always kind of like on the fence about that. But then I was also listening to other people being like, "Oh, it's really good," and I was like, "Okay," but I also know you personally. This person who said it to me was like, "The Force Awakens is a decent movie," and I was like, "No." So I don't trust you. But yeah, so no, The Mandalorian good then bad. I'm like, yeah, man. I'm not even. I've pretty much just gone. I will watch Andor and see if I like it.
Some of the incorrect facts about it were done in season 1.
True. But yeah, so I will watch Andor. That's been put on. But otherwise, I've just been like going back through like all of the old stuff that I used to watch on like Saturday Disney.
Oh yeah.
And so I've been watching the old Hercules animated series.
Oh, nice, yeah.
What was the other one I was watching? The Emperor's New Groove animated series.
Hell yeah.
I think I'm going to go back and watch some Wizards of Waverly Place.
I did that last year.
And I was like, I was looking at it and I'm like, oh, these are the shows that I remember from when I was a kid. I'm like, I'm going to go back and watch that. I'm going to relive the fucking days of when I didn't know anything about tax brackets and the economy meant absolutely nothing to me.
Pretty much.
Days are bleak, everybody, so go back and live in the glory days.
I think year before last I went through American Dragon.
Yeah, I actually want to see if they have Danny Phantom on there.
Oh, it won't be on Disney Plus. That was Nickelodeon.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Nickelodeon.
But don't they own Fox stuff?
Maybe.
I don't know.
We'll look that up later.
I'll have a look. But I'm trying to find where I can watch Danny Phantom.
Yeah. I know it's on something, I just don't remember what it's on right now. Because I have seen it show up. I did start watching.
I also got Kim Possible lined up to watch.
Oh, obviously.
Obviously.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I'm just like going back through all of the old school stuff. The stuff where it was like back when I was in primary school, and we'd go to the fire station, and the fire station had the Disney Channel, and we'd just like sit there on our holidays while Dad was working, and we'd sit in this like big, because for some reason the fire station where Dad worked when I was a kid had a ballroom in it.
Huh.
Like full on, it was like it had a dance floor in there.
Okay.
It was a super long room, and like on holidays when Dad was on shift and Mum was working, me and my older sister would just be like, okay, there you go. If you want to play on the computer, go through that door, and there is a computer which no one uses, and you can play on. And they had they had some of the best games on there.
Oh, okay. Oh, don't get me wrong. Some of the original games were the best games, and they were just built into the computer, and off you went. It's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, man. So we could go in and play games on this computer that was in like an office, because there was the office that they had. Their office was like at the front of the fire station, then there was the bedrooms and their room. Yeah. And then they had this other office that was right near where all the trucks were that wasn't ever used. And so all of us kids would just go in there and play. That's where like we would use the computer and stuff. And then we get like a fucking whiteboard in the big room and fucking put on TV and just spend the day chilling out in there. Yeah. And then at like lunchtime, Dad would be like, "Oh, you want lunch?" And we'd be like, "Yeah."
Yeah, food. That's what we need.
I'm telling you, they were like that was some golden days.
Oh yeah.
I think that was also one of the first places I like went in and like took my PlayStation. Like, you know that precious moment in a young man's life when he takes a console somewhere that isn't where he always plays it. Yeah. I think that was the first time for me. And I sat there for like a 9 to 5 shift.
Yeah, just
playing games. And then Mum came and got me and was like, "You ready to go home?" And I was like, "I'm having a good time here." She's like, "No, you're going."
He's like, "Oh, fine."
Dad doesn't knock off until 6 o'clock. You're going home. I was like, "But it's 4 o'clock. It'd just be 2 more hours." It's like, "No, just go home."
I want to keep playing.
Yeah, like I remember back in those days. I was like, you know, the TV shows were good.
No, they were. I don't know what they are now.
Honestly,
it's something.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even watch now.
No, neither.
Like, I like. Obviously, I like anime, so I still like cartoon.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Shows as well.
Yeah,
like as long as the story's good. Animated stuff is just another way of showing a story.
Yeah, true.
Fuck, I play video games. That's entirely animated. Not a single part of it isn't animated unless it has live action in it. And none of those games ever really do that well.
No.
So it's like, obviously, I have no issue with cartoons as long as the story's good. And yes, when you go back to watch kids shows, there's always going to be like these little cheesy parts in it where it's like, this is cheesy crap. But I've been watching, as I said, I've been watching the animated Hercules. Yeah. And let me tell you, that is wildly from the 90s.
Like, yeah. Of course it is.
Like, there's like this one part where a teacher back in ancient Greece is just like, "Get it, homie?" I'm like, holy shit.
Yep.
Oh
yeah.
Jesus, that ages this. But I was like, fucking hell.
Yep.
But yeah, and I was like, yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I don't know, I'm inclined to watch some of the stuff, but I just feel like kids shows now are way more, like, the stories are weaker.
Yes.
And, well, the stories are weaker, which means that everything else falls apart. It's like,
well, and a lot of them don't have the innuendos that were in the old stuff, so that so the parent could sit there and be like, nice, and then leave it at that. Nowadays, it's like the parents are just like, I can't sit through this, so they've got to do something else while they.
Kids are going, "I think my brain just leaked out of my ear."
Oh, yeah, it did. Pretty much.
But like, yeah, but it's also just like, I feel like the level of the cartoons has lowered. Where like the cartoons used to be like, if you were a little kid, you could like it because it was like it was a cartoon that was doing cartoon stuff. When if you were older, you could also like it because the stories were solid. Whereas now it's like, it's a cartoon. Kids don't care about stories. Kids can't even remember what happened in the last episode, so we're not going to tell a story through it. And it's like, that's why cartoons. That is why no one is nostalgically trying to find where they can watch the new cartoons from.
No.
I spent many months trying to figure out where I could watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And then it
the
finally
2002 series.
Oof, that was a good one.
I never wanted to find the series that came out after that, where the turtles looked like kind of CGI babies.
Yeah.
I never wanted to watch any of the new ones that have come out since then, because the stories just weren't good. And don't get me wrong, like the 2002 one had all of the little kid cheese that you would expect, stupid stuff happening, but it also had good stories and overarching storylines. Where it was like, we're doing this. It was also like in the 2000s, so it also had that like 2000s, we got to make everything dark and gritty kind of system.
Yeah, they did.
And it had like a really weird thing where the turtles put on their masks that were supposed to be just like a strip of thing with like eye holes cut out. Their eyes would go full white, but when they took them off, they had like pupils and stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, like that was neither here nor there. But yeah, there was always kid stuff in it, but it was also like kids can handle a story. Kids can handle fighting. Kids can handle, you know, a character being not physically shown to die, but being like told, oh yeah, this character died. Yeah. Whereas now it's like,
no, we can't do this.
That's like, well, it's kind of like YouTube, where it's like, you can't say things like killed or this or that because, we don't want that in the algorithm. And it's like, why? As a fundamental part of life. Life ends.
It does.
Yeah.
But yes, finding that was tough.
Yeah, it was.
Because we were both looking for that at one point. We were scouring like Amazon and everything, trying to just find a box set of it that we could buy to just watch.
Yeah.
No, but nothing.
Well, it's kind of like my whole thing with the Clone Wars, right? I desperately want to get all of the Clone Wars in a box set. Now, yes, I can watch it on Disney Plus. I might. But the truth is, I want to own it.
Yeah.
Because then I can use it however I see fit. As opposed to a lot of these subscription things. And I know a lot of people go like, oh yeah, but it's owned by Disney. They're never going to remove it from their streaming service. Doesn't mean I'm always going to have Disney streaming service. It's already at the point for me where I don't have it because I don't personally see any value in the monthly expense of having a Disney Plus account. When their back library, I have watched it, and when they have not put out anything good, well, what was the last good thing they put out? I'm inclined to say Wolverine and Deadpool, but technically I think that's actually Sony.
Is it Sony?
No,
no, because that one was that one was done when Disney had bought them out, so that actually was Disney.
But who was making the Deadpool movies?
Originally, it was Fox.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so that's okay. So I'm inclined to say that was the last good thing that Disney put out. Yeah. That was about 6 months ago.
Yeah,
but it's not to say that Disney aren't constantly putting stuff out. They are. It's just the value of it is constantly dropping.
I've looked through some.
Although, I am tempted to have it around for when this new Snow White comes out, so I can just say, you have no interest in watching this piece of garbage.
Yeah.
And not watch it.
Yeah.
I am someone who is very much, I know a lot of people will watch that movie just to see how bad it is, but I'm of the opinion not doing that, because that counts as a view for that, and they see that as a good thing.
They do.
And I'm like, no, I don't want to participate in the view equals good mentality that they have, so I just won't view it. What I'll do is I will go on YouTube where someone has put up like clips and like clips from how bad it is, and I'll watch that. I'll give that person my view.
Yeah. Not
Disney, and not condone what they're doing with shit like that.
No, that's understandable.
Mm-hmm. But
I think it's about to happen with How to Train Your Dragon. live action that's coming out.
Again, I hate when they do this. It's How to Train Your Dragon isn't that old.
No, it's not.
It is fantastic. The three mainline movies are great. The animated
I watched them a few weeks ago.
The animated TV shows are fucking on point.
Oh yeah.
And if you watch all of that, you get a really, really awesome How to Train Your Dragon universe, even though it's different from the books. Because I believe in the books, Toothless is a completely different dragon.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I actually think he's the same dragon that they kill in the first one.
Oh,
just a little baby one of them.
Oh, well, there you
go. But again, I don't know. I haven't read the books. But I don't think live action's going to work. One, because it's not live action.
No.
This is something that always annoys me when people say live action. CGI. Live action is live action. This is live action mixed with CGI. It's just a modern movie.
Yeah.
You're not going to get... The dragons aren't going to be as good because it's not going to look as good.
No.
The same way that most of the time when you're trying to have actors interact with things that aren't there, it's not as good. And that's why, even when, think back to the original Star Wars, when Luke climbs up into the cockpit of the X-Wing, they didn't just put a ladder there and say, oh, don't worry, we'll put the model of the X-Wing in later. They had a little part for him to climb up on so that they could actually catch in film him climbing up the ladder and being able to interact with the part of the X-Wing that he was interacting with.
Yeah.
It just makes acting easier. And look realer, because you're actually interacting with shit that's there.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're only interacting with stuff that they're going to fix in post, it always looks stupid.
True.
And I honestly don't think that this is going to... I just don't foresee it going well. Go back and watch the original.
There's other reasons people are looking at it and saying it's not going to go well, but this is the general... This was in Viking era.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the choices for the main actors and actresses do not make sense for Vikings.
Right.
Yes.
One of those situations, eh?
One of those situations.
Look, I'm not going to make any comment on that because honestly, when it comes to that kind of stuff, I always say go for the best. Go for the best actor, /actress. The thing that annoys me is that it is set in a place, and that place wouldn't make sense for a whole lot of diversity.
Yes.
And that's the issue. I get it. We live in the modern world. Diversity is a thing. Cool. Beans. Whatever. But when you're trying to make something, shoehorning diversity in for the sake of diversity is always bad. It's always bad. It's just bad. Because the truth of it is, you should hire someone based on their skill, not inane factors about them.
Yeah.
And just personally speaking, I honestly hate where we are now, where we are doing this because diversity, and it's that is the worst reason to do anything. Do something because they're the best people to do it. If they're not the best people to do it, they have no right doing it. But,
Yeah, that's it.
I look, honestly, I'm not excited for this How to Train Your Dragon. I didn't even know it was coming, and I probably won't watch it. I will, however...
I've had it pop up more and more in the last few weeks.
will, however, go back and rewatch all of the How to Train Your Dragon TV shows, movies, the animated stuff, because the people who made that are worth supporting.
Oh, yeah.
The stuff they did there was fantastic. The actors and actresses that they brought in for that did a great job, and it really felt like that the goal there was to make the world believable and fantastic, and they brought in the best people to do that. Not... Yeah. There was no virtue signaling there. And I think that's the most important thing when it comes to this kind of stuff. Make something good. Just make something good. It doesn't have to be...
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Something that annoys me about the modern world we live in is that there seems to be a real focus on ticking boxes instead of getting the best people for the job. And we are seeing this all over the place. It's not just in video games, it's not just in movies. It's literally all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Kind of reminds me of something that happened in Australia where they literally they made a new council or whatever for our Reserve Bank of Australia, and the only thing that they could say about it was it's mostly got women on it. And I was like, how is that even slightly important? These people are supposed to be talking about the economy and that. I don't care what genitals they have attached to them. I care that they are the best financial people to be talking about our financial situation, because these people are going to be discussing our financial future. I do not care what their genitalia is. I care about their financial knowledge.
Yes. That is as simple as that is.
So, yeah. We kind of live in a world now where it's like, oh, but, you know, they've got this genitalia. It's like, cool, does that help them do the job they're doing? No. Then why the fuck did you even bring it up?
Then it's not important information, as long as they can do the job.
Exactly. So, yeah. But I'll probably spend the next couple of weeks going back and watching all of the old TV shows on Disney. The ones that were actually good. And then I'll probably not use Disney again for... it was 3 years last time? So yeah, about 3 years.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably go back and watch them all again, because the old stuff is golden.
Oh, it is.
Golden oldies. But anyway, guys, I'm going to call it... I think that just about wraps us up. I have a little dog attacking a door, which is annoying the shit out of me. I don't know if you've heard that, but it is. Yeah. And, yeah. So guys, until next time, I've been Darcy, he's been Kris. Yep. If you have enjoyed this, consider liking, sharing, commenting, or subscribing. If you haven't already, it really does mean a lot to us here. If you want to see more from us, check out the rest of the channel. We have all the other episodes of this podcast where we sit and talk rubbish. But we also have a variety of video games which we play at an average level, because that is our skill level.
Yes.
And yeah, guys, until next time, I've been Darcy. That's Kris.
Indeed.
He is here, unfortunately. He is still Kris, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not
Look at his smug face, and you can see how bad it is. He's very smug in the fact that he is still Kris and does not learn, which makes it worse. It just makes it worse. But guys, we'll catch you next time right here on the channel. See you later.
See ya.